You are safe to move, you're safe to be, you're safe to receive, you're safe to connect, right? You're safe to build. And to my body, that's like, well, I'm going to tell you something. I've only been safe to do that in certain periods of my life, right? Not really, it's not really been
Like,
the
are
whole
you
case. Yeah.
sure?
People haven't really been safe, so I'm not really thinking that. And I'm just like,
Yep.
cute. So then how can we get our bodies going back into safety and knowing, hey, you're carried right now. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Anya. Hi, Jen. I want to bring everybody to the table and like we were talking a little bit earlier about the whole love and light scene. Um,
Yes.
Mhm.
so I think this is a good intro into that.
Right, right. I totally
Well,
agree.
I love it because I was watching both you girls on one of your amazing videos that you were just doing recently, and you talked about the dark night of the soul. And I don't know if you've ever had this happen where like you fall asleep, to listening to a podcast and you're like, I have something to say. But you're yelling to the podcast in your head while you're dreaming and they can't hear you, obviously. So when you guys were having that podcast, I was like, I want to have this conversation with both of you. So I'm so grateful to be on. This is going to be very cool and very fun.
Oh, I
Ooh.
love that. I've had that many times where you're just like, actually, I would like to add in. So I think it's so
Yes.
awesome that there's now a community of people that are all finding the voice in their own ways, connecting, finding their own little ways to communicate and also have their perspective heard because I think there's so many ways to translate a similar frequency of a message, and people will resonate with different frequencies and different translations. So it's so important that we all share. There's enough room at the table for everybody, and I think that, like you were saying, going back to the love and light thing, I'm planning a day, a workshop event, and I've worked with the lovely venues before, and I was messaging one I've worked with before, and there was like, oh, well, we've started running a zone workshop now, so we don't want you or any of these things. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of was going to reply really professionally and really and I did still put the professionality in there, but I had to mention, I was like, okay, yeah, I totally understand. However, I do think that moving forward, if you are going to do these kind of events, I do think having the mentality that everyone has room, a seat at the table, and that you don't need to cut other people out just because you want to win, kind of essence vibe, would be more of a better ethos to take if you're going to be opening people up to that level. And I just kind of had to put it in there because I thought, that's fine. You have every right to choose and do them things, but it's very strange and unfamiliar to me when people gatekeep connections, community, information that should be just shared. Like, I think this stuff should be just connective knowledge. There's so many things as we go through life, as we go through womanhood, as we go through motherhood, that's not talked about. There's so many things that are just not talked about because people don't want to have uncomfortable conversations, don't want to be judged. They don't want to admit that they failed a little bit in some ways, which is not failing, but in their minds, that's a perception. And it's never light and rainbows and love and light. And when we got the concept of the new earth, as much as that's the frequency that's coming in, that's not the energy that we're going to be anchoring in every minute of every single day. The energy that we're going to be anchoring in is more of a consistent frequency that is of a higher vibration, but we're still going to have what it means to be human. And I think we're all just kind of figuring out, what does that actually look like, being a spiritual being, living a human experience, having this awareness, but also living in the ups and downs of the peaks of the emotions and the releases. Like, I don't know what that looks like to me because it's a bit left, right, all over the shop. So, what do you guys think that looks like when you're going through them things? Because I get imposter syndrome because of the narrative that is spun that everything is, I'm ascended and I don't go through that anymore. And I've already done that. And I've sat with this and done that. So I don't need to do that. And I'm like, well, I do. I'm still doing that. And I don't have the shame, I guess, but it's still that imposter syndrome comes up a little bit. So what do you guys think?
I think I think for me it was a massive masked era when I was running through that. And I was like, this is just not my reality. There is nothing wrong with that. And I love those guys too. And if you're in that space, that's amazing. I can get into those spaces. But to continuously put something, love and light on something that is not my experience is not going to fly for me. And it did
Hmm.
take me into like really deep spaces. I also spoke very openly to certain groups and people who wanted to like cover up information or
Yeah.
that's the case. And I definitely a few times got kicked out of those groups because I was very open and verbal about like, okay, but what's the reality in here? Are you guys like not seeing like what reality is?
Like what?
Um,
And I say it's because this conversation and the types of things that the three of us are really interested in talking about, I think we're on the leading edge of thought, and I think we're on the leading edge of conversation. And not everybody is ready to have that conversation. And I think sometimes it makes people feel uncomfortable because it might hit some of their boundaries that say, this is beyond my comfort zone. I don't know how to interact or engage in this conversation. So I'm going to either push it away or reject it, naughty or nice. And I'll say, for those that are in the Love and Light Club, more power to you. I think you're moving in the right direction. But when you really start going through that dark night of the soul legitimately, and you actually are in it physically and mentally and emotionally and spiritually, your world is upside down. It is ripped inside out. This love and light thing is not coming from a place of like, oh, peace and gratitude. No, it is hard. It is gritty. It is awful. It is ripping families apart, ripping lives apart. It is hard, hard work. Getting to the other side of that is really beautiful, but you have such an appreciation for those that are going through it that you don't just go, "Ugh, it's all good." No, you empathize and you really can feel that grit and that pain, and you can connect to it viscerally because you've been there and you know what that
Hmm.
feels like. And the people that haven't yet, I pray that they have good experiences and that life is treats them well. But for those of us on this mission, on this calling, who are truly doing transformational work, you can feel it. You can feel the difference. You can hear it in the voice. It resonates in the vibration of what you speak. And you have to use your own discernment to know truth. And if you're good with
Yeah.
the surface stuff, more power to you. But I think the three of us that are on this Zoom chat and those that are drawn to this type of conversation, we know the difference. We know the truth, and we know the grittiness and the rawness. And it's really powerful and it's deep. And that's the
Yeah.
that I like to go because that's the truth and that's real to me. It may not be everyone else's truth. And those that are going to push it away or create boundaries are just the ones that haven't gone on that adventure yet. They're just not on the leading, bleeding edge.
Yeah. I really liked how you put that, Jen, because you know what? It is a different dance for everyone. You know, all three of us on this call will have had a completely different, as we call it, dark nights of the soul over the years, different layers, different parts and pathways, and physical, mental, emotional, spiritual experiences, like you said. And I think for me, one thing I gained deep awareness of a few years ago when I started to truly hold space was how on earth can you hold space for these people without ever experiencing what they're going through or even experiencing the frequency of what they have felt, what they, you don't need to have been through everything that everyone's been through, but you understand that level of pain, that level of rebuilding, that level of sitting in the bare shadows and looking at it all and having to rebuild from that place. If you've been there from whatever path took you there, you can resonate with that frequency, like you said. And if you are going to be a space holder or a facilitator or a guide or a channeler, reader, healer, whatever word you want to put on it, you have to be able to at least hold that frequency in some way, space, or form too, because it's all about safety. So if you have then allowed yourself to feel safe through that darkness, you can then help provide a frequency of safety for those going through that to anchor in. But if you've never been there, you've never felt it, how can you do that? How can you even understand? And so maybe people won't get to that depth, but maybe they're not meant to be the space holders, and that's absolutely fine. Like, not everyone's here to do the same thing. We want not all carbon copies. And don't berate yourself if that's not you. If you're like, well, I don't feel like I've hit my dark nights of the soul, and maybe that's not coming for you. Don't anticipate it. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because by now, I think if you are going to be at that level of space holding, you would have already anticipated or somewhat, these layers of sitting there, rebuilding, facing. By now, I think you'd have experienced it if you was going to. So if you are on more of a surface level, which I doubt there'd be many people watching this video on that level, but say there is, which is absolutely fine. Again, it's not judgment. It's not better, lesser. That's not the case. It's different roles, different pieces of the puzzle, different parts of the frequency of the new earth. We're all here to anchor in different frequencies. And those that are space holders and facilitators, will go to different depths to be able to rise up from that, to be able to create new pathways, new walkthroughs that have never been walked through before. Like Jen said, leading ways of the conversation, whatever the word. I love that way you put it. I was like, oh yeah, I really like that. It's activating. It felt really nice. And I think that's true. It's the difference in why we have to go through it. Once you have more of an understanding that it's not punishment, it's not suffering, it's not karma in that way, it's not retribution from your past life, it's healing so that you can heal yourself and create a platform and space for others to anchor in that energy themselves.
Well, can I comment on one thing that you said that I really
Yeah.
love? That's where you talked about safety. And for me, going through the dark night of the soul, you have to create your own safety. Getting it from someone else, it means that you're not truly in surrender. And to me, my experience of going through a dark night of the soul was absolute surrender, absolute isolation, and absolutely like having to rely on myself and pick myself back up. And it was really, really hard to do that because I think it's almost as if this is like a test, a cosmic test from God or creator or whatever language you wish to use that says, okay, look, you're meant for something bigger, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to just make everything that's not meant for this next level of growth and for this next level of, new earth and all of that stuff, right? Whatever language you wish to apply to it, we're going to peel that job away. We're going to peel that relationship away. We're going to take all that money away. We're going to see, how do you perform in lack? How do you perform in isolation? How do you treat other people when there's nothing to be gained from it? What is your integrity like? Who do you show up as when you have absolutely nothing to gain? And not only that, but we're going to put you in this isolation bubble where no one's going to hurt you because you've already peeled everything away. In fact, you're actually not talking to anybody anyways. Like I've had many experiences where I go to the grocery store and people couldn't even see me. I'm like, am I real? Am I still here? Like, hang on. And it wasn't until I gave like a full-on surrender where I'm like, dude, God, okay, like I get it. Like, what do you want from me? Because clearly I can't push hard enough to make something work myself. And I've been trying, I've been pushing, I've been trying to create, and it's just not happening. And so you finally get to the point where you're exhausted from pushing a boulder uphill, where you're like, I surrender. I'm done, tapped out. That's when your work starts. Like, it's like, okay, finally you get to the base layer. Like you get to, I don't know, Z, what would you call that?
I mean, I would say honestly, the deepest aspect of your truth. You get everything pulled and torn away. That is your connection with your soul, with Creator. I mean, the amount of times that I've hit that point and had to surrender, well, in this lifetime has been immense, right? And coming through, I'm like,
and we all laugh because we're like, yeah, been there. Don't, yeah, I know that feeling.
And all of us have, all of us have in this group. We've all been to that deepest part of ourselves, and coming out the other side of it and heading into now. For me, it's like, now these are skill sets that I am working so that I can
100%.
take a step into that path so that we can create it together, for one, because it took me into a complete, like, everybody in here is equal. There's not a hierarchy piece at all. And I think that's one of the best things that I've moved through in this space where I'm like, no, I actually just want to build with you as an equal. Like,
yes.
I don't care if you've ascended. I don't care what you've done. Like, if you're real with me, you're unmasked, you've been working through your stuff and you're ready to come together and build something new, I'm in. Okay.
Yeah, truly agree, Z. And I love that because I was literally talking about this with the group I've just done just before this. I kind of gone full circle, and this was my own ego death. And I loved what you were saying, Jen, as well about that dark night of soul. It is brutal, and it's not like a revelations meditation. No, darling, don't be prepared for that. You will be brutally shocked. It's not there. And I think when you've been through it the first time, mine was like very health wise. I was in hospital 26 times a day, stomach problems, all that. And when I got through that, I was like, right, yeah, never went through it again, done it. And then the next layer hits, and like Jen said, it's perfect. The next layer, your level is coming. You got to get rid of what's not serving you and get there. And it's literally like you get presented with this choice. Don't always feel like a choice though, because it's like the universe just right now, there you go. And you just deal with it, but like Z said, skill set. Every time you gain new skills, new regulation techniques, new reflection techniques, new perspectives, new ability to think, actually, why? What what was the meaning, the message, the connection, the rephrase, all of it is so significant. And I think for me, a big part of that was like when I was first into spirituality, I was really young. I've always been very different. Let's put it that way, very different. But at 17, I became a tarot card reader. That's when I did my first tarot card course. I was extremely young. And I remember like I went into the world at like 20, 21. I was a medium and a past life regressionist. And I was like getting so into this world. And I remember thinking like, oh, I can't have friends that are just not spiritually connected because like, what am I going to talk about? Like, truly laugh at myself now thinking about it because it felt like because I was so obsessed with finding more truth and connection in this world, I was finding who I was. I was finding my identity and what connected to me. I'd spent so many years feeling lost and then found spirituality. It was like, oh, amazing. And that was the only kind of hyper focus I had. But when I took a step back and actually looked at some of my true friends, some of my truest connections are non-spiritual people at all. Like, at all. They are not trained. Truly, they are spiritual people, but they're not readers, hypnotherapists, channelers, nothing to do with that. They know nothing about the domes and the earths and the parallel universes and not, but they have the most beautiful capacity to hold space for the deepest emotional connections, for the most powerful growths. And a lot of these people now are a part of the team that run the events. And ironically, I created my business name, Spiritual Soul Center, when I was 17, being a tarot card reader. Had no idea what that was going to mean. Later on, when I realized it was going to mean running events, like an actual spiritual soul center, I was like, right, I need a team. What does this mean? Looking for this team. Now I've figured out years later, the team was already here around me. Most of the people on my team are my family members, my close friends. Everything just needed to be at the right frequency. Myself, them, the divine timing. And once that's aligned, oh my God, this is the most powerful team you could meet. And it's just off the scales. And half, maybe 3/4 of that team are not spiritually trained, but they are so deeply connected to self, to others, to nature, to the earth, to what's going on around them. And that to me is spiritually connected. And so I think I genuinely did a full 360 on like my perspective of who I am and who I need to be friends with and all these kind of connections. And like I said, I found the most real ones in the opposite, which has been really beautiful, really different.
Yep.
That's very and I feel like it's the difference between how we create too. Like
Mhm.
in the past, before I kind of went through this whole like breakdown of identity and trying to rebuild myself, and I was trying to push and create and, like really put a lot of effort towards how am I going to manifest and how am I going to do
Mhm.
this? And Z and I, we've even had shows where we've talked about we don't like the word manifest. It's man infestation. Like it just sounded kind of weird, like it sounded like something icky. Like manifesting was, I feel like it's sort of something from the past because where we're going, and maybe this is fire horse energy, I don't know, but where we're going is alignment and attracting and bringing it in
Mm.
exactly what you're saying, Anya, right? Like it's like being in that frequency where we meet like-minded people. And this is how I met Z. And I'm so immensely grateful. Like you have helped transform my world in the most incredible, amazing ways. Like I could never be sitting in this spot with this genuine, real background behind me without knowing you and all of the work that we get to do together. And now it's going from trying to turn and like create and go, 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 go. Now it's release, align, draw it in. Like I'm now aligning with what's coming my way, and it's very easy and it's very
Mhm.
gentle. It feels very different. And that's the
Yeah.
space that I think we need to move into because it's sort of like once the energy starts revving up really fast and starts go, 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 go again, you don't want to sit on a horse and tell the horse where to go. You want to just hold on and just see where it takes us. And that's, I feel like, the energy that we're going to start to move into. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on like, what do you think is coming up for us?
Yeah, I mean, this horse energy is amazing. I'm really excited for it. I did not go into any of the parameters around it, the timing or anything like that. I sat with it with myself, with the energy coming in, and had a nice chat with it. I'm like, okay, what does that actually mean to me? Because everybody's perspective on this is going to be different. How it moves with everybody's going to be different. But basically, it was
Mhm.
like you're just gonna relax. You're gonna chill. You're not gonna push for anything.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna either be walking beside you, you're gonna be on me, but you're not even gonna be feeling me gallop. This could be moving.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a very easeful space to come into. Of course, with easeful, you have the opposition that comes in with all the things within the body and the realities that are not easeful, which is what we've been used to,
Mhm.
right? So we're kind of right in that line. And you're like, oh my gosh, look how many things in my real I have not been easeful. That's really what I
Oh man, that's me. Absolutely. Really true. That was bang on. No, do you know what? I loved what you both said there. Really great, like summaries together. I love how you both synchronize this frequency. It's very beautiful. It's like a little dance going on between your higher self. I love it. So your summaries together inspired my thought of we have this powerful energy coming in, but like Jen said, it's not we're not meant to be go, 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 do, do, do. Just because the energy is bringing that, let's be real, this bold energy is it's bold. You know, it's not taking any prisoners. It's getting out everything that needs to be released. And it's not allowing us to not look at it. It's bringing up everything maybe that's not even right ready on the surface. It might be deep rooted in there. It's being spiraled up to be looked at the moment. It's quite bold. It's quite prominent. It's quite in your face. However, like Jen says, having the ability to soften into more of a feminine energy, and that means both men and women, but that knowing that you are worthy of receiving just because, allowing things to manifest, create, desire, whatever word you want to pick, flow into your own reality because your frequency is aligned and it's less doing, more aligning. And I loved what you said about that because it truly is. And that's like, you know, when you see things about The Secret and all the things on manifestation, it feels like it's so gatekept. I feel like everything's so, well, I'll tell you this secret and I'll tell you this over here and this is what you're missing. And don't get me wrong, these people might have great little nuggets and I think you should always go where you're drawn to. But for me, what I've learned is the subconscious mind is a real powerful blocker. And also, yeah, huge. I didn't realize that. I was working on all these things over here. Like, over here, I was like, well,
Yeah, girl, that's it. That's
yeah,
it. There.
like, are you doing something over here? You know, so she really let me know that that was the thing. And that changing my mindset of having to earn it, having to work for it, having to have done something to receive for it, that was a huge core concept in my brain that was stopping me from just inherently receiving. And probably still in some small ways, I'm still working through that. So yeah, I think that's a really beautiful way of explaining it, that maybe it's not about doing anything in this next year, like obviously you're going to do things, but maybe it's not about forcing things to work. Maybe it's not about creating all these ideas and putting it all into physical things. Maybe it's about letting what naturally comes up in the most way that's kind of like singing to you and talking to you and allowing them things to actually come up because you're not trying to find the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. You know, I think we get very caught in a routine of like always being a self-improvement project in this spiritual healing journey. It can become like, oh, I've got to be on the next one and the next one. Yeah, you know. And so kind of just got to go, okay, maybe I'm just going to enjoy being human for a little bit and I'm just going to ride the wave, see what comes up when it comes up instead of always looking for it, whether that's the next project, whether that's the next healing thing, next layer of the onion, whatever you want to call it, you know, allow it to just flow a little bit more. I loved what Jen said, sit back a little bit, ride the horse. And I just got a message in my last group that the energy of me on the fire horse is riding the fire horse bareback with my hair flowing in the wind. I was like, well, that sounds just about right for me. So I'll be doing that for this year, you know?
While you're riding the horse, you're allowing the horse to be the one taking the momentum and you're aligning with that horse and you're connected to
Yes.
the horse, but the horse is the one doing the effort and the energy. And if you look at the
Mm-hmm.
side of the waves, it's almost like water skiing. You're not hustling
Mm-hmm.
on water skis, you're holding on. And, you know, whether you're riding a horse or you're on the water skis, or we have something in Montana here called ski joring, where you're literally on skis behind a horse. Like you can combine all the metaphors if you want, but like
That's so funny.
you're in alignment and you're in sync with the motion because it's going to go really fast. You can
Mm-hmm.
fight it and have a miserable experience of going uphill, or you can be in alignment with it and go and like your hair is going to blow in the breeze and you're going to just have the ride of your life if you don't fight it. You got to be in alignment. And that's why we
Yeah.
had to do all this work. And that's why we had to shed the skin this past year,
Mm-hmm.
get rid of the stuff that doesn't need to come with us because it's like, it's going to shoot.
Coming, yeah. Whether we feel ready or not, it is coming. And don't get me wrong, after all this work, all these years, it's still scary. There's still aspects of it for me where I'm like, oh shit. You know, the unknown, the letting go, the surrendering, that piece sometimes of fully surrendering, like, and not wondering, oh, what if? And, you know, that little part of me that likes to control safety. Again, safety is a huge piece of all our inner children. desire safety, and that safety can look different in many people. And for me, it likes to know the preparation to prepare to be safe. And so letting go of that, being prepared for what's to come, is a big thing for me. It's a big difference in the way my human flows, and I can feel the resistance and the anxiety and the like tension, and I'm just working through that. I'm also allowing that to be present and not judging myself for having that as well, because I think again that's part of the narrative that's spun sometimes, that you have to be, you know, in this ascended frequency and understanding like the higher purpose of everything. Like we can have coexistence, we can know that, yes, I know I want to surrender that energy. I know I don't want to control it, but my body's fighting it a little bit and I'm feeling it and I'm being a bit anxious right now. And they're both coexisting, and I'm allowing the coexistence until something comes up that needs to work on, spoken about, journaled about, danced out, whatever it is. And I'm just allowing it to exist without forcing the negative to go away, if that makes sense. I think it's different to do though. Not everybody, I think sometimes we've been told to get rid of that, and it's hard to acknowledge it and allow it to exist.
I super appreciate that. Yeah, I kind of want to just on both of your how you've been speaking. I just want to speak for our bodies too and what we're putting
Mm,
through the process with this. And of course, we're digging up all the subconscious and unconscious crap that's been there for a long time, but our bodies are truly learning a new language, right? It's we're heading into this horse, and for me, when I just sat with it and I've been up in the mountains with it, it's a very easeful language for my body, but it's not something my body has known, right, fully. It
mm,
really brings in a safety energy of self. You are safe to move, you're safe to be, you're safe to receive, you're safe to connect, right? You're safe to build. And to my body, that's like, well, I'm going to tell you something. I've only been safe to do that in certain periods of my life, right? Not really, not really been the
are
whole
you
case.
sure?
People haven't really been safe, so I'm not really thinking it. And I'm just like,
Yep,
cute.
I feel
So,
it. Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone then. I'm glad it's not just me.
no, no, no. And then, I mean, that's the good majority of the clients that I work with too. Like, they're all coming in to have this energy come in, and their bodies are like, I don't know what it is. That's the first thing,
Mm,
how to interpret it. So that goes right into unsafety. Right. So then how can we get our bodies going back into safety and knowing, hey, you're carried right now. You don't have to
mm.
you don't have to do that job. So I've definitely been on the train of like divorcing these parts and pieces. I'm like, hey buddy, you
Me too.
do you wanna
Hmm.
keep that? You wanna break up with it? You know, we can do a little breakup celebration.
Literally. I've been doing a lot of reparenting, like you say, divorcing, reparenting, and looking and being like, okay, do we really still need to have that core concept running through the subconscious mind, or can we let that one go? Like, is that really useful right now? And it's intentional though. It feels like I wouldn't be doing this if the energy didn't feel as ready to change. It feels like everything is coming into alignment to be worked on right now, because we have the skills. We've sat through them emotions and will sit through the future ones, but we have the capacity to sit in the unknown and sit with the all the things that come up, you know, the depths of layers. And I guess once we've already navigated a lot of that, even though it's a little bit scary, because we have that skill set, we know we can do it. We know we're capable. And that's where we're at now. We're at this place of, yeah, we're looking over thinking, oh God, going to get on that horse and we don't know where it's going to take us and we don't know if we're going to be safe and where we're going to go. And it is a bit like, ooh, but then it's the trust. But what if we have the adventure of a lifetime? And what if it's the best experience you could ever ask for? And what if it takes you to the most magical, wonderful places you could have never got just walking on foot or driving in your little car that we drive every day? You know, sometimes we need to connect back to our roots, to nature, to our ancestors, and to the things that really make us these real beings, not just the shell, not just the human, the actual real being inside. And I know, even speaking for myself, I don't feel I have the accessibility to live as much in my spirit all the time. And I want to bring in that energy this year, bring in the reconnection to that freedom for the spirit to express itself fully all the time in its true expression, you know, and feel safe to do that.
Absolutely. Again,
Mm,
hitting that. Do you want to go ahead, Jane?
I was just going to say, like, what if this fire horse energy is the reward for all the work that we've been doing for some of us
right.
for decades, right? Some are
Mm-hmm.
newer to this journey, some have been on it for a long time. I've been on this journey, I think,
Mm-hmm.
my entire life. And
Right.
I was
Totally
introduced
agree.
to this stuff very, very young. And what if and I'm going to create this as my possibility. What if the fire horse energy is our reward and it's going to catapult us to places and destinations unknown because the horse knows the way. We're just going to
Hmm.
ride and we're going to benefit from all of that work. And we've cleared everything out. We've gotten through all of the insecurities and we've gotten through, all of the hardships, and we've let go of those people that no longer need to be with us. And we're now moving into that space where safety, and it's so interesting that you guys are talking about that because safety is really, really important to me right now as I'm going through
Hmm.
a lot of, is it somatic exercises
Hmm.
now with the tapping and the
Yeah, me too. I'm doing a lot of that at the
you
moment.
really, me too. I did
Yeah,
make my son do it with me, and I find that it's really helping to
beautiful.
right? And it regulates both of us and our, it
Hmm.
works on trying to reduce the upset and the anger, but like getting all of those tools in our toolbox so we can just get on that horse and ride. Like that's where I want to go because I don't know how to take it to the next level, but I damn sure better believe that horse knows because it's
Yeah,
already it's already going. And those of us that can jump on and stay on, it's going to be the ride of our lives this year.
I agree. It's exciting.
That
It is
curiosity,
so exciting.
exploration, and
Yeah,
what
this
if?
it's
But
true. It's so true.
But let's play this back in December when we're like, fuck, this was so much easier.
I
What were we thinking? This would be
love that. I love that. No, do you know, it's such a good point, and it's actually interesting that you mentioned that bringing it in December because I was thinking I like to do a little ceremony because the new year, it's a thing. Me and Z have spoke about it. Like we have the Gregorian New Year, which is like the energetic reset, if you will, of the collective, because they're all sending the energy to it. Everybody is sending the energy thoughts. It's created some sort of reset. Then we have the lunar energetic emotional rebirth time of New Year, which is this time, the Chinese New
today.
Year.
Is it today?
Yeah. Tomorrow, I think it's
Today,
Brad's birthday
tomorrow?
tomorrow, and
Oh,
it's the
yeah,
17th.
you're
So
right. The lunar eclipse
tomorrow.
is tomorrow.
Yeah, it's only because I know because it's my partner's birthday, so I've had
Oh,
to keep it the same day. It's in my brain. I wouldn't have remembered otherwise. Don't worry. And then for me, I feel like there's a Mother Nature's New Year, rebirth of nature, which is in spring, and it's when the earth is reborn, plants reborn, life is reborn. It's when I feel like I'm reborn, to be honest. So I don't think, in my opinion, there is one New Year. In my opinion, I don't think it's even worth arguing about. Who even cares? Let's just go with the energy. Do you know what I mean? So it's just about, I've been talking about this today. I was like, who actually cares? Let's just roll with the frequency that's coming up and let's
yeah.
celebrate all of the New Year's. There's three now.
Exactly.
It brings up the vibe. But yeah, I think what I was going to say is I am going to do a little candle ceremony. So it's very simple, but I'm going to get a candle and I'm going to get a piece of paper and write down a few questions like, what do I want to rise into? What would this version of me next year say to me now? I think that's a really good question. That's what you reminded me of, Jen, with the December version, because it's true. Like we might be a bit more exhausted, we might be rejuvenated, but what would that version say to us now? And I think that's a really nice question to journal on whilst your candle is burning. And what can I or how can I release at the moment to grow? And I think them questions are just a little bit more energetically charged to harness this energy with intention. So I'm putting mine on a crystal. I'm just going to burn the bottom of it, stick it to there, and put the paper underneath it on a hard surface. And then as that's burning, that energy from and the intention from the paper is going to burn into the candle. So anybody watching, if you feel drawn to do any form of little ceremony, something like that, I think it's a really nice time to harness that energy right now and to just bring a little bit of magic into the center.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's just your intentions in general, especially for today as this energy is heading in tomorrow. I mean, officially. I always laugh at that because I'm like, I'm just going moment by moment at this. Kind of a rebirth situation, but since I'm flowing with the earth too, I have a chat with her. But this energy too, coming in from my perspective, is very much so since we're running through these subconscious things that are I'm really mind thinking, right? This
Hmm.
energy coming in is bringing a lot of heart, right? Just
Yes.
being strong with the heart, thinking through the heart, having that coherence there. That way, the mind is reorienting itself to a facet that it hasn't really known for such a long time because it has been off on its own trains on many
Yeah.
different conscious layers. So I just wanted to bring a note to that is like settle down in with your heart, take a moment and see where your heart's at the moment. What is it thinking? What is it feeling like? Is it in coherence with your mind? Is it in coherence with the rest of your body and your path? And give it that acknowledgement, so that coming into this next round of things, next layer,
Ding, 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 ding.
you're leading with that, right?
Yeah, I love that though. Next round is true. No, you said some really important things, Ezzy. Thank you. Very resonant of what we're going through. I think I might watch this back myself. I think we've got some good information in this video. There's some good information here.
I love it. And the last time Z had told me, she's like, go outside, put some intentions into a candle. And you know, that was 11/11. And the last time that happened, this showed up in my backyard, the Northern Lights. It literally,
Wow.
while I was burning the candle and doing my like affirmations, and the most extraordinary sky. So I can't wait to do that again. I want to see
And
what
that's very fire horse energy, that red, that orange, ooh, that sacral chakra energy. I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I wanted to pick a little affirmation card, if that's okay. I know Jenny was going to pick some cards as well, so I'm excited to see what cards you pick. I didn't know if you had decided if you was doing one, Z.
I've got a deck here.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
I've actually got the deck I created. It's called the Soul Speak Affirmation Deck. They are affirmation cards, but I use them to read because
Wait,
I think
you
anything's to go.
created your own deck?
Yeah, because it wasn't intentional. Well, it kind of was later on. I was making them in like post-it notes of like every day. Like I was reprogramming a lot when I was coming off medication and like healing my mind and body and soul. And I was planning the first retreat in 2021, I think. And I just remember writing them all on like papered card. And then all my friends and everybody kept coming around and using these scrappy pieces of card to pick themselves like 5 cards. And my partner's a graphic designer. We're very techie and stuff. And my aunt is actually a graphic designer as well. So she had a company. So I designed them all and he finished them all. And then she got them all printed, my auntie. But they've actually 500 decks have all sold out over the past couple of years. So I really need to order some more. But if you are wanting a pre-order, you can get them. You can let me know. But they are really beautiful. I'm biased, but I really love them. I'm not going to lie. They're really awesome. So I will pick some out for you. And little fun fact, this was from a birthday bag I seen. And I was like, I really like this pattern, but it was blue. I was like, I think I'm going to have it pink and purple. But it was inspired from a birthday gift bag, which is hilarious. Okay, so I picked some for the collective with this fire horse energy. I think we've got some good energy actually. It's a lot of sacral chakra energy right now. So the first one is, I am giving myself the push to take a step forward into adventure. Today I am starting a new adventure. So I think that's very bang on with
exactly what we're just talking about.
The new chapter, the new leaf, new layers. I think that's very, very, very aligned. And then we've got, I am new, fresh, powerful, and overflowing with vibrant energy. Today, I am starting a new day filled with hope, excitement, and optimism. So I think they go very hand in hand. It's setting the tone and the frequency for the chapter that we're moving into. It's almost like a doorway is opening with this like blue-green frequency of higher consciousness, partnered with this like orangey red fiery sacral energy, which is allowing deep, deep layers of trauma and ancestral wounds to be actually released out of the nervous system and the fascia at the moment, which I think is so powerful for not just women, but it feels like for the divine feminine collective. It feels very healing at the moment in time, which leads me on to the other 2 cards, which are my sexual self is attractive, healed, and healthy, enabling me to experience great healing and pleasure with myself and others. Today, I am reclaiming my sacral sensual energy. And then we've got, I am a wonderful sacral chakra connection. I have a wonderful sacral chakra connection. I allow myself to be confident and express myself. Today, I am allowing my sacred sexual energy to flow. My words are getting tangled there. So we've got a lot about sacral chakra activation there, which when these cards come out, there's 82 cards in the deck and they are the only 2 in regards to sacral chakra, just for context. So quite interesting that the only 2 of the deck have come out in the whole of 82 cards. But I do think it's very relevant with a lot of the videos me and Z were talking about earlier on in the year were all to do with this divine feminine energy coming in, the healing, the reclamation of the wild woman. And I think this fire horse energy is really bringing in this activation of fire in the womb space and in the sacral chakra. And I think it's something that we can't really fight at this moment in time. It's just kind of happening. So we kind of just got to look at the things that come up, not be afraid of what's coming up, and just allow ourselves to find a little bit of grounding throughout the place, throughout the uneven surface. I started reading and my human language is gone, so I'm going to pass it over to you, Jen.
Well, I never thought of the fire horse as a sacred divine feminine or as just a
Mm,
whole badass woman. So I'm going to start to kind of take that on because I never even
yeah.
thought about it. I thought it is very separate from an individual, but now I'm going to take it on as like you're running with your ass on fire. But it's also sort of the phoenix rising from the ashes, but she's taking
Mhm.
her new identity because the phoenix doesn't have to stay the phoenix. Maybe the phoenix rising from the ashes and she's on fire and now she morphs and transforms herself because this is all about transformation. Perhaps she transforms and chooses to take the form of a horse, which is very powerful and very dynamic in movement. So
Mhm.
that's just thank you for that. Like that's a huge
Oh, I
reframe.
love that. No, and also, my son's called Phoenix, so that's really beautiful. I love that.
And Phoenix is what
Yeah.
we pulled away, just so you
All
know.
right. Yeah, it's awesome. It's so funny. It's
But
the rising, like you say, though. It's literally one of the questions, like I wrote down, is what can we be rising into? Because
yeah,
this feels like the Phoenix chapter. This feels like the red zone of rising. We've been through these deep depths of the dark night of the soul. We've been through that white zone of
yeah,
conscious expansion and awakening. And now we're gaining this sense of reactivation, reignition of the light within us. And again, both men and women, it's not just about people with wounds. I just think for me, because I am very connected to that feminine energy, it feels like there's literally a flame that's being reignited in us to have a voice, to have passion, to have creativity again, to express yourself, to set boundaries, to change the pathways, and to actually know that a lot of these things, and this is in no disrespect that we sit in victim about, we have a choice whether we allow it or not, whether we choose it or not. And I don't mean disrespect by that, but I had to come to that conclusion myself. It was a difficult one. And I think it's learning that we have to reflect in our own rising, where are we choosing things that are not benefiting us, and how can we not choose them anymore?
well, what we can choose is our kid's name. So if your kid's name is Phoenix, no joke, my son's name is Ash.
Oh, I
So
love that. We've got a
yeah,
phoenix, an ash, a sky. I love that. That's awesome. Oh, that's
see?
so beautiful. I love that. Love that. Wonderful. No, it's truly beautiful. Too beautiful. Such
No,
alignment.
I was gonna say my partner's kiddos don't have those names, but
Well,
they're
I was
amazing at
quite
the
lucky.
same
My parents are very like normie, and I got quite a cool name with Anya Lily. So I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it. It's not a normie name. I'll roll with that. I think I got gifted or quite. I hated it as a kid. I hated it because it was different. And then I got to like 16. I was like, yeah, no, actually, I really like this name. It's very cool. It just felt like me. But it's funny how you resist it because I just felt like I was different the whole time, and it's not even that different. But as a kid, because it wasn't the normal name, I just felt very different, but I love it now. And I'm very grateful for a different name. So I had to follow in the tradition with my kids.
It's that's amazing. Yeah, no, I changed my
Thank you.
entire name, so there's that.
I
What?
love that.
I
You,
changed
you
my name.
wait, you did?
Yeah, well, not I mean to what it is now,
Oh,
absolutely.
To what it is now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's like, oh my God, right now?
Like,
Like,
what? I don't know your new name.
Phoenix
That's
Ash.
good. I had a friend that changed her name to Luna though, and for like a whole year, I kept calling her by her old name subconsciously, and now she's Luna. She'll always be Luna. So it's funny how your brain just readapts to this new identity and new connection. Even for herself, she mentioned herself, she talks about it a lot. Like it was a weird adaptation to do, but I'm sure once you connect with that frequency, you become that frequency. And it's the same thing with this new frequency coming in. We are always grieving the old versions of us because they cannot stay to become the versions that we're going to become. And it's this beautifully sad evolving process. And it's just about, I guess, finding some sort of like acceptance, joy, love. Look at the glimmers. That's what I call them. Look at the glimmers instead of the moments of deprivation all the time. Because you can really be a glass half full or a glass half empty kind of guy. Do you know what I mean?
I
Really
like that
depends on
glass half full. Thank you very much.
yes, exactly.
These kind of cards you got.
We got some energy moving through this. My nose is like running like crazy. That's how I'm like, I'm like, no, it's moving. There's a lot
It's
moving through
moving,
this one.
girl.
Jen, do you want to do your cards?
I can, sure.
It's up to you. Your choice.
That'd be beautiful. I've been looking forward.
Okay. Well, what should I look at? The energy for the collective going into the fire horse?
Mm,
Let's do it.
Okay. I'll do a 3-card spread.
yeah.
And we'll look at 3 cards for the energy of the fire horse for the collective starting tomorrow. 3, 2, and 1. The energy of the collective for the fire horse. Interesting. All right. Ooh, let's see.
Ooh, baby. Oh, interesting.
Sovereignty, but not really fully seeing your sovereignty. So you have to have a change of perspective. So
Interesting.
this is going to be awesome. For those of us who love transformation, we're going to be able to discover all new things that have been right in front of our eyes. We just never saw it. We have to turn around. But for those who are not used to transformation, this might be a little challenging. So, but overall, I think this is really beautiful energy. I love being able to be in the energy of sovereignty. And this is just the change of perspective is my favorite card because I'm all about paradigm shifts. And that's really what lights my soul up and being able to see something you just really didn't see before. So I think this is going to be really special and we're going to find some really interesting new things about ourselves.
I love that. I love the way you read them cards. That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
sounds amazing. Everybody ready for that?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm ready. I'm strapped in, ready to go. Ready.
Funny with all these cards, and
Can't be worse than the past 6 years, you know. Let's just go. We might as well go while we're already in the momentum. We might as well just keep going, you know.
Absolutely. I actually created my own deck over this last week for the Fire Horse. It only has 4 cards,
Love that.
but
You've got your own deck too. I feel so connected with this group. Oh my God.
It's not printed yet. I was actually going to send it out in my for my email campaign tomorrow. So
Love
for
that.
Oh
all
my
of
God.
you who are interested in that, I do have a free side quest which has a Fire Horse cards in it. They're really stunning. And also my Game Changers has a lot of cards in it too, which will be printed off at some
I'll
point.
be checking them out.
I want your card deck too. Okay, got a
I
pre-order with
do.
you guys.
So, for all you all, I'm going to let you do that. You can subscribe to the Z Collective below. And also, I do have a Fire Horse activation deal going on. If you guys want to take a look at either Game Changers or the Z Collective, you can pop in there and use Fire Horse at the checkout.
Please send me that link, Z. I want to check that out.
Absolutely.
Don't forget about me.
We'll
Don't
do
forget about me.
it.
I would love that. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And speaking of this firehorse energy, Z, with the human things, if you will, the logistical things, I feel this has really amplified the vision for the retreat that we're creating. Yeah, Z and Liz, because we've been doing a lot of retreat planning the past couple of weeks, and it's literally amped up. Everyone's ready for action. Everyone's ready to go. And there's some really exciting things coming out. We've got a workshop day in the UK in June. We've got the retreat in September, which is now looking like it's going to be in Greece, not Spain. So we're going over to Crete, everybody.
Wait, did I
And
not
then,
get invited? Wait, what's this retreat? I want to go.
well, you're more than welcome. We'll send you all the details. Everyone's welcome. This is the thing. It's not like we are very much, me and Z, I think this is why we align so much. And same with you, Jen, it's just perfect. We've all just flipped in. There is no, you can't sit with us vibe, you know? Like for me, let's all just connect. Let's all, if you vibe, we vibe. And this is the point of the retreat. You don't need to be a spiritual master. You don't need to have been training for 15 years and doing all these layers of things. You don't need to even understand some of the things we're talking about. That's okay. And also, if you do, that's wonderful. You know, you don't need to be anything other than who you are. If you have the calling, if it feels aligned to you, then hit us up. You know, we are going to be letting the tickets were meant to be on sale in January, but at the end of January, but with the change of villa, we had just had to tweak a few things. So they will be on sale very, very soon. Keep your eyes out on the website, on the YouTubes, on all them things. But there is very limited spaces. I'm thinking there's about 15 spaces on the retreat. So if you are interested, they will be on a first come, first served basis. And we do already have around 4 or 5 people that are already confirmed. So just waiting for them to buy. So we have got, you know, there is a lot of interest going on. There is a lot of high energy about this. And it is going to be something that every retreat, I'd love to say like we can recreate it next year. But like, unfortunately, I've done 3 already and none of them it's like you can't repeat something when it's done. So they are kind of one-off experiences. And I don't mean that in like a, a selling way. It's just true. Like we don't, it's like as we evolve, we create these spaces and we create these platforms of what we're reflecting at that current time. And what we're reflecting at this current time, the retreat's called Surrender and Serenity. So it's very much surrendering into this fire horse energy and finding peace through that surrendering and finding your true self. So there'll be a lot of techniques that you'll be learning for yourself to be able to take this work home and do it. That's kind of mine and Z's theme of energies, to reflect it back to you so you can do the work and find your own power. There'll be a lot of, we have Lucy, who's a somatic trauma releaser. She does a physiotherapy and a lot of different physical work. So she'll be doing a lot of work with the physical body. Z obviously will be bringing all her quantum game changing, the nervous system magic. I'm sure she'll want to add her own little minute in a minute, but we'll be creating a whole experience. The team creates, they work so hard behind the scenes. We've got some really hard workers and it's going to be truly transformational. Like we was talking about, this energy has just reminded me because I can see this energy paralleling in the retreat. It's going to be phenomenal. So if you are interested, I'm going to stop talking now, but it's going to be wonderful and you know what to do. Hit us up in the email and connect up with us and make sure you're letting us know because it is first come, first serve. But we hope to see you there. And if you want to check out the workshop day, that is in Yorkshire in England. So do hit that up as well. But thank you guys. It's been really beautiful, this conversation.
Yeah. Well, see, I want to see your cards.
Oh my God. Yeah, I totally forgot. What the heck? I totally forgot. We didn't even get the magic.
I know. I wasn't anticipating like showing them on here yet. So
can you, or do you want to wait? It's totally fine if you don't want to.
What about one?
I might be able to get one on here. I might need
sneaky one preview.
Yeah.
Being a cheeky little sneaky preview.
Well, I sit here feeling totally inadequate where both of you have your own tarot.
Do not feel inadequate, my darling.
And I was like, well, just shoot. I'm just sitting here, just having a little cup of.
Also, don't feel inadequate because these are my lovely Rider-Waite tarot deck that I use very often. I've created a few decks. I've created the pregnancy deck. It's just a playful thing. It's like a creation thing. It's like when I'm doing the things I need affirming on, I just write them down. But it's just, mine started on a scrap piece of paper, that was what they were. And I think it's just nice to bring that own energy back. But honestly, you bring very authentic, like fiery reflections that also brings very like Mother Earth grounding, like nurturing energy though too. It's like a combination of this nurturing activator, it's really beautiful. So yeah, please don't ever feel inadequate. We all bring such magic to the table. I love that. Oh, Z's showing us.
What's on or what's not.
Shifter.
I love that. The reality shifter.
In the center. Yeah, so I sat with this probably for about 4 weeks and then someone's like, can you please like create? And I'm like, sure. So
this is gorgeous. And look, you've got the Z at the bottom.
Yep. So I had all the concepts running through there. This one is really like your own reality shifter. What do you want to change in your reality? And how it responds to your action, right? So I change my reality by what I live, not just by what I imagine. So this is bringing it into the embodiment phase, right? Reality responds to action, not just intention alone. Small shifts, repeated, become new, grounded, and piece of you grounded on. I'm like, oh my gosh, my words.
Use your words. Feel
the vibe. Feel the vibe. And then just allowing yourself to really feel into what's ready to shift because the horse is really bringing in the shift phase, but with a lot of ease, right? So just getting a piece of your reality that you do want to shift, getting a feel for it, not the whole picture. I really like to work these in small pieces that our bodies can actually feel safe doing. And just one small way that you can live that differently today. So one small action step, right? And at the end of that, giving yourself a nice little pause and allowing your body to be able to take that shape and the reality on.
This is so awesome. And the energy I get from it is very ancient. Like this is a very ancient, and obviously with the cosmic, background and everything, like, and just from this conversation of what we've talked about, like I now get to put myself into the embodiment of that fire horse. And it makes me feel like I bring all of my ancient wisdom to the table and able to bring that to life. Like that's what I get from viewing this card. That is just beautiful.
It's awesome. I have a few more out there that are super fun.
It's truly stunning, Z.
Yeah, no, it took me this week and I was like, no, I got a lot of words and color and the right imagery that I wanted to put in it. And again,
Love
this
that.
is how my quantum game changers works. I do a lot of side questing through these cards, but also very much so immersed in your own nervous system. And it's very playable and fun, which is really where I want things to be heading into. Like, let's actually have some fun in our realities because I know for all of us who have been in it for a really long time, this is a nice shift into finally we get to have some peace with this and we get to ride with the horse, right? It's not taking us anywhere to
Right.
ride with it. So,
Right. So agreed. It's beautiful, Putty. And I really, truly love that deck. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of them.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I think I'm probably going to do some more, but I just wanted to get some shifted out for tomorrow. So again, for all of you guys who want to have a little piece of that, I will be sending that out in my email campaign tomorrow. So,
Yay.
yeah.
Very
Awesome. That's so exciting. Well done on you getting them done so quick.
I know.
Yeah. No,
Right?
for me, like when it's time, like I can get it done really
Oh, I feel that. Like,
like,
let's
and
go.
that's what's coming in with this energy right now. Like
Mhm.
it's surrendering, giving yourself enough time and space. But when it's time to take the action point, it's easy. It's easy.
Yeah.
Ideas are there, they're flowing. I have songs and music coming through too that is just like amazingly just fast and quick. So I'm excited for this shift.
Ooh, you'll have to show me some. Let's connect. I love this.
Doing some
I'm so
collaboration.
excited. I'm so excited. No, this has been amazing, ladies. Thank you so much. And, thanks for just showing up as yourselves, keeping it real, and, just being the beautiful little light workers that you are.
Absolutely. Likewise, guys. I love to.
Likewise. And thank you. Like, I just love being part of this conversation. I hope we get a chance to do more. This was really, really fun. What a
Oh,
great
It
way.
really was. It really was. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for watching. And if you have any questions, anything you want us to talk about, any questions about the fire horse energy, I know this will probably air a couple of days after, but anything that comes up, just let us know. Don't be afraid to drop it in the comments or drop us an email. That'd be really beautiful.
absolutely. We love you guys so much, and we're excited for all of us to be interconnected and for all of you
Hmm.
just to see everybody. I'm excited to co-create with people. There's
Me
Yes.
too.
Me three.
all right. Bye, everybody.
Love that.